Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for Renaissance Periodization, and welcome to video number 5 in our How to Make the Best Training Program for Your Muscle Growth Needs video number 5. What is too heavy or too light, and how to manually change your load, aka weight, if you're not that sciencey. I'm going to be illustrating some stuff with the RP Hypertrophy app, which I use for all of my training now. If you're catching this video in earlier than mid-May 2023, which is probably when it's going to come out, hit the link in the description and sign up for the list. The list will get you a discounted app price earlier than other people, and it will also get you loads of free informational goodies. Infotainment, we could call it, if we wanted to combine words arbitrarily. If you were watching this video after May 2023, then you can just go to the same link in the description, top link, and it will just be a buy link for the app, and you can get the app if you want. This, however, is not a video just guiding you through the app. That would be insanely boring, and you could just get the app and guide yourself. This video is going to be talking about how to actually manage and change and execute a good training program, but we'll use the app as an example because it's the best program builder of all time, I'll say. Yes. All right. Guidelines on training load selection, weight selection, how to pick the good weights. And if you've picked a good weight you think is good, how to know if it's a bad weight that you need to change. I think 4 guidelines here. First, this is a huge point. Anything between sets of 5 and sets of 30 is just not a wrong answer. Fundamentally, there are more correct and less correct answers, but they're all kind of right. You know, it's like if you're going on a first date with a girl, you take her to KFC or you take her to McDonald's. This is no losers, right? Wendy's, Taco Bell, check. Scott the video guy, we got Pizza Hut. We got what else?
Domino's, the competitor.
Take that bitch to Domino's. That shit is expensive as fuck. You know, motherfucker,
Dude, I just got a Domino's pizza. It was fucking $24.
$24?
What is this shit?
Did it come with a blowjob machine?
Dude, how crazy is that?
Bitch, $24. Hey, sweet girl, you must be out your mind. That's how much that wedding ring costs. Shit. In any case, unless it's Domino's and prohibitively expensive, sets of 5 to 30, no wrong answers. You just don't have to worry about it a ton. Now, there are more particular nuances which we can get a more correct answer than already the generally correct answer. And here's a couple of ways. So point number 2. Whatever leaves the muscles that you're targeting as the limiting factor is a better rep range, and thus whatever weight gets you into that rep range. For example, if you do squats at more than 15 reps per set, you will generally notice 2 things give out before your quads. Your lower back gets really tired, you start to round over and you're like, my quads have more juice, but I can't stand up straight anymore. Or 2, your lungs, and you're like, and it's not about your legs anymore, it's that your lungs are giving out. So squats and other what are called anti-gravity stabilization exercises, like rows, for example, above 15 reps or 20 reps. If you do barbell rows for 20 reps, your lower back just gets tired or you get out of breath, and your muscles, the pulling muscles of the back, just aren't doing anything anymore. So make sure the muscle is still a limiting factor. The rep range has a lot to say about that. Next, pick loads and stick to loads that feel safer and kinder on your joints. For example, if you're doing one-arm preacher curls or lateral raises with dumbbells, and you're doing it sets of 5 to 8 reps fresh as a first exercise, oh man, that's just, look, I'm not into like the whole kinesiophobia shit. So like you rock on, technically speaking, you probably won't get hurt, especially as you get stronger. It's just a lot of cricking and clanging and weirdness. And just if everything's roughly similarly effective between 5 and 30 reps, you will find over time through experience that sets of 10, 15, 20 plus for isolation exercises just tend to feel better on your joints. Compound movements, if you warm them properly because they distribute the load through multiple joints and one joint can take the slack of another, seem to be much better for heavier loads and for lower rep ranges. But for isolations, it's kind of fucking weird to do a curl for a set of 6 heavy and be like, yeah, that's it. Someone's like, how does that feel on your bicep? You're like, my elbows hurt. I think the bicep's close by, so maybe some of the pain could go to the bicep and grow it somehow. I don't know if that works like that. It doesn't. Lastly, if you get to close to 5 or 30 reps and start to get below 5 or above 30, the RP Hypertrophy app will warn you. And it's no big deal if you know your shit. You could just be like, whatever, I don't care. And I know I'm doing sets of 5 and 4, but this is what works for my body. Or you're like, yeah, I'm doing sets of 35 walking lunges. It fucks me up. And technically speaking, the difference in hypertrophy between sets of 30 and sets of 32 or 35 is like nominal, basically non-existent. Yeah, sure, sets of 50 and 60 definitely there's a distinct drop-off because the weight's not heavy enough. But like, you know, you could do a set of 35 in a walking lunge. If it's close to failure, you're fucking growing, period. So you can always just say, nah, no thanks. Or if it's too heavy, lower the load. If it's too light, raise the load and avoid the extremes. No worries either way. You're in charge. If your load is off of what the app thinks it should be, and it's way outside the margins, like if you were going to lift 100 pounds, but you're like, man, I need to do either 50 or 150, 100's just not working. The app isn't going to be able to tell you, hey, you have to do XYZ number of reps because last week you hit 8 reps. For example, let's say you're using the 50-pound dumbbells for dumbbell chest press. You hit sets of 8 last week. This week, the app's like, you know, hey, like 55 pounds, and, you know, you should hit sets of 8. But for some reason, you find it like compelling for you to do 70 pounds. The app's not going to be like, yeah, like that converts to sets of 3. It's so far away that the prediction algorithm is inaccurate, and we don't want to spit out the app telling you things that are nonsense. So the app is going to say, okay, 70 pounds, great, that's the weight. So right here on the thing, you say, okay, I want barbell bent rows. Let's say here as an example, lift doesn't matter. We choose 70 pounds. It's going to have the RIR for you as opposed to like having a weight here and the reps already as a target. You could even have had the reps as the target, but then it switches from like saying, hey, you have to do 8. It'll look like this. It'll say, hey, actually 2 RIR. That's the app tacitly admitting that like, I don't know what reps you're going to get because everyone's so different that far away from the weight they planned that it can't tell. That being as it is, I would recommend that if you want to use the app to its best abilities, stay real close to the weight. So for example, if the app says do 135 pounds because last week you did 130, it's totally cool to do 130 again, or even 125. It'll auto adjust the reps to be higher so that you get the same stimulus. Slightly better stimulus, actually, the app makes sure you progress. And if you want to do 145 or 150, that's totally cool. But if you did 135 and you want to go to like 180, the app's going to be like, man, I just don't really know what to do for that because it's way outside. So I would recommend for progression purposes for the app to keep you on track, and for repeatability and a little bit on the safety side and just good progression, stick with the weights, first of all, that the app recommends because it has your best interests literally programmed. And also, if you have a little bit of discretion, which you should totally take if you think like, 145 is too light, I'm going to go to 150, it will auto adjust the reps if it's close to make sure you're still on track for progressing. Damn, that's pretty dope. Folks, that's it for this time. Let's see what we're talking about next time. Next time, we are going to talk about how to use the different training modalities and work them in through the Hypertrophy app. We're talking about straight sets, down sets, drop sets, supersets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to go through every single one of those special modalities, talk about what they are, why they are useful in training and how, maybe even what exercises to do them with and maybe what exercises not to, how to do some rest times. We'll cover all that stuff, and we'll show you examples of how to track that and program it into the app so that the app becomes your best friend. You only ever talk to the app. You shun your friends and family. You stop showering. Your fingernails grow out. And as long as you hit that subscribe button every year for the low, low price of the yearly discount, I ain't mad at you. See you next time.